スターズテリーのワンダーランドレミックス。
This time, I'm shying away from PlayStation 1 Rugrats games and going over to the Nintendo Game Boy Color to a game and game series that is way better than Pokemon in every single way. The game series I am talking about is Dragon Warrior Monsters, otherwise known as Dragon Quest Monsters now. I'm going to be judging this game on more than the basic 3 criteria I've judged past games with, but the core 3 will take up a majority of this video, and they are graphics, character and environmental models as well as level layouts, audio, which includes music and sound effects, core loop, things that need to be repeated over and over again, which can make games addictive or boringly repetitive. I have to get this out of the way. It's time to list most of the differences between this game and Pokemon at the time of the release of both, which includes Dragon Warrior Monsters 1 and Pokemon Red, Blue, Green, and Yellow, because people will constantly say that Dragon Warrior Monsters is a clone of Pokemon. In Pokemon, you carry 6 monsters at once, while in this game, you can only have 3 at one time. In Pokemon, your Pokemon don't follow you. In this game, all 3 follow you. In Pokemon Yellow, only Pikachu would follow you around, and many Pokemon use the same sprite in their user interface. In this game, all monsters follow you around and have different sprites for each individual monster in the overworld. At this point in time, you could not breed in Pokemon, while in Dragon Warrior Monsters, you could breed your monsters together. In Pokemon, only monsters of the same egg group can breed, while in Dragon Warrior Monsters, any male or female, or bosses in later games that are genderless in future installments, monster regardless of species can breed and turn into a different monster altogether in most circumstances. In Pokemon, to power up your monsters, you battle them or give them items like rare candies. In Dragon Warrior Monsters, you breed them to gain new monsters or new forms for existing monsters, only if you have the right breeding combinations. There is no evolution in Dragon Warrior Monsters. In Dragon Warrior Monsters vs. Pokemon at the time, while traveling in Traveler's Gates, you could encounter other monster tamers whose monsters you could even steal if you gave them enough meat. In Dragon Warrior Monsters vs. Pokemon, sometimes the boss monsters will join you at random without even having to give them meat, or sometimes they will join you if you give them meat, unlike in Pokemon, where you always need a Pokeball. If you want full breeding charts for this game, go on to woodus.com, also known as Dragon's Den, and they have a complete, complex breeding chart for every monster family. It is very interesting to note that for the 20th anniversary of Dragon Quest Monsters for the Game Boy Color, it was released on Android, iOS, and even the Nintendo Switch in Japan only. They even made a website especially for this version of the game, showing factoids, monsters, and new features. YouTuber Hamish Todd discovered in 2014 a secret cutscene in Dragon Quest/Dragon Warrior Monsters 1, where if you complete the library gate before you complete the Gate of Reflection, you get a secret cutscene in the Orochi room. Hamish Todd also discovered a removed gate with Dark Dream as the final boss. It has 98/99 floors with the strongest monsters in the game. This is his video detailing how to access the gate. With that cheat code activated, the next time you get into a random battle with monsters, Dark Dream will appear with his removed data and his maxed out final boss stats. This is the boss lair, but Dark Dream wasn't even programmed into it. If you go back to the final floor of this Traveler's Gate and activate the Dark Dream cheat, it'll bring up a final boss, which is a Camillegon that has maxed out stats and it can one-shot anything. Why this applies to the Dark Dream cheat, we will never know. The Camillegon stats are glitchy, which explains why it's able to one-shot almost anything. If you level up the Camillegon, some of its stats return to normal, and its moves don't upgrade, they just get added to its move list. Hamish Todd asked if we had any idea of why this happens, but to me, it reminds me of Missingno from Pokemon Red and Blue, where if you level it up, its glitch stats revert to normal, and then it goes back to level 1, 5, or over 100. The people at the Cutting Room Floor website have found hidden menu options such as multiple debug modes and unused gate encounters with monsters that were meant to be in certain gates in the game. They also listed regional differences between the title cards. Graphics are up next. Dragon Warrior Monsters has beautiful graphics for a Game Boy game. At times, they are very blocky, which makes detailing monsters difficult, as some you can't tell if it's their eyes, eyelids, mouth, hands, wings, or tongue on their face or body. For the longest time, I thought Rosevine had evil eyes until I played the 3DS remake and saw that what I thought were its eyes were actually a tongue sticking out of its face. How disappointed I was after that, the world will never know. But for having such a small screen, they did a decent job redrawing all of the NES and SNES game sprites and filling the world with beautiful colors, which makes you feel like you're playing a cartoon or watching a motion manga. It doesn't matter how I pronounce it, since I am Puerto Rican. The travelers' worlds are incredible, and while some do lack color, for the most part, they are overflowed with color. While I'm not a huge fan of palette recolors, this game series does include a lot of palette-swapped monsters. Not so much in this game, but in future installments. An example of a palette-swap monster are Blizzardy and Phoenix, and Durin and Darkdream. An important note, this Game Boy game contains more cutscenes than Rugrats in Paris for the PS1. Note over. The cutscenes in this game are great for a Game Boy game. A lot of them didn't have any cutscenes, period. You get to see Great Tree grow as you progress through the game, and its landscape change, things being added, people appearing, new shops, and new travelers' gates being unlocked. Music and sound effects. Most of the music from this game is remixed from the NES and SNES games. It sounds appropriate for a game about a small child traveling an unknown world, though. The battle music was way more mature than any song in the Pokemon games at this time. The battle music makes fighting even low-level weakling monsters sound like a life or death situation. Sound effects are typical for an RPG. Quick tings and clinks and clank sounds. I vastly prefer the level up music in this game to the one used in Pokemon. Battling never gets old in this game. Seeing your moves evolve and power up, encountering 1 to 3 enemies at once, leveling up multiple monsters at the same time, watching stats rise to insane levels. God, what is not to love about this game? Either way, the breeding in this game is the best I've ever seen in any game, with infinite possibilities that never feel old. Burdensome at times, but never old. For these reasons, I will give Dragon Warrior Monsters a 5 out of 5, 40 questions asked. Join me next time when I review Dragon Warrior Monsters 1. Wait, what? Hey, I thought you just reviewed this game. I did. Sort of. This is the remake of the Game Boy Color game Dragon Warrior Monsters, but this time it is called Dragon Quest Monsters and is remade on the PlayStation 1 with way better graphics. Wait, you didn't know the first game was remade for the PlayStation 1? Don't worry. Most people didn't know because it was never localized. It was released only in Japan. Luckily enough, I'm the first English speaker to ever make a review video of it. Since the game is so similar to its Game Boy counterpart, story-wise, I thought it not wise to just repeat the parts I explained in that video, but to try and explain what changes I liked and those I didn't. Speaking of similarities, before getting into the video, it's time for more differences between Pokemon Red, Green, Blue, Yellow, and Dragon Warrior Monsters 1. In Pokemon, you catch your monsters in a variety of Pokeballs, ranging from Pokeball, Great Ball, Ultra Ball, and the almighty Master Ball. In Dragon Warrior Monsters, you feed them meats you find laying on the ground, which are abundant, or buy them from shops. The meats are beef jerky, pork chop, rib, and sirloin. At this point, going on the Japanese release dates of the games, Pokemon eggs weren't a concept in the games yet, but in Dragon Warrior Monsters, you pay the monster breeder and he will hatch your eggs for you. In later Pokemon games, when you got an egg, you'd have to walk, run, bike, or surf to hatch the eggs, which was very time consuming. In Dragon Warrior Monsters, since you just pay to have them hatched, you can be in and out in 10 seconds flat. In Pokemon, when your team is full, they go to a PC system. In Dragon Warrior Monsters, if you fill your team up, the one you decide not to keep goes to a monster farm. In Pokemon Red, Blue, Green, and Yellow, you travel through the large region of Kanto. In Dragon Warrior Monsters 1 and 2, you travel through a nation made inside of trees and traveler's gates which take you to other realms. Watch the next Dragon Warrior Monsters video when it drops for more differences. Also, this game still has more cutscenes than the 3D Rugrats in Paris game for the PlayStation 1, and this is in 2D for crying out loud. First up, graphics. While the original Game Boy games graphics were great for a Game Boy, these graphics have all been remade from scratch in super high quality. Where the original felt colorful for a handheld, the remake on PS1 is breathtaking, filled with millions of colors on every part of the screen. When I first played this on my PSP Go in 2010, my breath was taken away. I shook on the inside from the beauty I was taking in. Seeing abstract characters from the Game Boy translated to the PlayStation completely revamped in huge amounts of detail caused my brain to overload, and I am not joking. I felt a great amount of joy and positive anxiety fill my body from the excitement of reliving my childhood, which is impossible by the way. But an advantage of being on the PlayStation is the option of using the D-pad or analog stick and being able to move in 8 directions instead of 4. Seriously, this feels so much better on my thumbs. The monsters were all remade in higher definition, some with additional colors or altered color palettes to better match their NES and SNES counterparts. While I generally like most of the changes and I do enjoy faithfulness to a source material such as the NES and SNES games, some I do not like are Picky's altered color palette. I vastly prefer the Game Boy's more realistic bird colors to the PS1's fat, overweight Democrat-colored feathers. Another one I dislike is Anteater. He loses his bad arse glare and beak, and reminds me of a pot-smoking Rasta brother. More accurate to the animal it is based on, but I'm used to how he looked in the Game Boy game, not the NES and SNES, so this is my personal nitpick. Fire Air is also less animated in the PS1 version. It looks like orange gas which appears for half a second before it disappears. At least on the Game Boy it looked like fire flying across the ground. The castle has been greatly expanded and added pools and rooms and slightly altered layouts of the structures. The boss battles seem a lot easier too. For some reason, Golem was defeated in a few turns, whereas on the Game Boy he provides quite a challenge even if you train for 30 minutes before taking him on. Each battle now has a custom background based on where you are at. A very nice touch, and enemies move more when they attack. Also, you get to see your monsters battle now. Sort of, at the top of the screen. Well, it's better than not seeing them at all and just seeing the enemies, I suppose. Breeding greatly benefits from the graphics and music upgrade. Seriously, listen to that music. The music has had a total overhaul. It is super faithful to the original in every single way, with just enough jazz added to it that it doesn't sound like a one-to-one remake. It's faithful, but not overbearingly different. I'm looking at you, Spyro Reignited and Crash Insane trilogies. Sound effects aren't as beepy and boopy in this. Don't get me wrong, there are still beeps and boops, but they aren't as high-pitched as they were on the Game Boy. According to the official Dragon Quest Monsters wiki, instead of using a link cable like you would on the Game Boy Color to compete against another player, this version allows the usage of different memory cards on the PlayStation 1 to read the game data. The mobile versions of the games can link to the PS1 by using a password system, which allows players to raise monsters in either version and transfer them to the other one. The combinations of monsters are different from the originals, many of which are not available in the originals. The originally hidden monsters of each version, Lamia, Dimensor, and Cage Bau, are all available in the games. In Dragon Warrior Monsters Terry's Wonderland, several special rooms in the original version no longer appear in the PlayStation 1 version. Since this game on the inside is the exact same as the game it is based on, there's no point in me going through the core loop again, which are things that must be repeated over and over again, which can make a game great or boringly repetitive. If you want to hear my opinion on the core loop, then watch my Game Boy Color review of Dragon Warrior Monsters. Don't think that there's nothing extra added to this game besides the graphics and the upgraded animations. There were, however, some monster additions made to the game. There is a Watabau and Warabau exclusive available only in this version. If you had a cell phone when the remakes were released in Japan, you could transfer over a yellow Watabau-like creature with a cell phone called Aibau to use in the game. Also, the 3 secret monsters from the Game Boy sequel Dragon Warrior Monsters 2, which were Cage Bau, Lamia, and Dimensor, are also available. How do you obtain them in this remake? I don't know. Only Japanese people do, since they're the only ones that got this version of the game. While the official wiki for the game said that the hidden monsters were in both versions of the game on the PS1 remake, they never listed how you got them. I found out in January of 2021 that you don't need an event to get these monsters, but I was still uncertain about how to get them. The official website mentioned them being openly available with no further explanation. I Love My Name 11 said, there's always a chance for them to spawn in enemy master teams. Obviously, it's a random chance, but possible. I've had Lamia spawn a bunch, and I've only seen Cage Bau once, though. I assume Dimensor is the same. Water-type monsters are a pain as well, as those aren't in any world in Monsters 1, so either a trade between games, or a enemy master again. Please note that while this was confirmed by I Love My Name 11, I myself have not been able to confirm this, even after beating the games and fighting enemy masters. I have not once encountered any of the secret monsters. The person that was working on the English patch translation for about 10 years did upload a YouTube video about a decade ago, showing the progress he had made before he faded into obscurity and never finished the translation. There was also a very detailed website dedicated to the PS1 remakes of the games, with information that I can't understand and that I can't translate because the website's so old. So I'm just going to let the video play and show you the parts of the website that pertain to the Terry's Wonderland PS1 remake. All in all, I'll give this remake a 5 out of 5. They changed just enough to make it very enjoyable, and now even returning players will find something new while keeping the base game unchanged. Next, I'll be reviewing Dragon Quest Monsters 1 a third time, if I can get that version working. Wait, what? If not, I'll be reviewing Dragon Warrior Monsters 2, Terra and Kobe.
魔物にさらわれた姉ミレイユを追って少年テリーの大冒険ドラゴンクエストモンスターズテリーのワンダーランド 3D 5月31日発売
So it's finally here. It took me days to compile things, but I finally did it. Here's my 5th review for Dragon Warrior Monsters, called Dragon Quest Monsters Terry's Wonderland 3D. This game will be judged on 3 criteria: graphics, music, and core loop. Core loop are things that must be repeated over and over again that can be boringly repetitive or make a game incredibly fun. First up, graphics. When compared to the other 4 versions of this game, the 3DS does a great job capitalizing on the colors of the Game Boy Color game, but making everything more detailed and vivid. Although I would have liked to have seen more effort put into the faces, as it sits, they're just images that repeat over and over again every few seconds, such as the characters blinking. Something that truly disappointed me when I heard about this remake, but expected since I had played Joker 1 by this time, is that monsters no longer follow you around, which would really cause people to assume it's a Pokemon clone, even though these games never have been, considering Dragon Quest V started the monster catching craze, and that came out before Pokemon did. But Ross, how were they supposed to make giant monsters follow you around? Easy. Make them smaller in the overworld like on the Game Boy Color. One thing that makes me proud is how, and you'll hear me say this again when I get to the Joker series, unlike Pokemon, Dragon Quest Monsters has had fully 3D models of all monsters in the overworld and battle since December of 2006 on the original Nintendo DS, whereas Pokemon Diamond and Pearl came out in September of 2006 and we're still using static 2D image sprites. This game is no exception either. Terry's Wonderland came out fully 3D on the 3DS in 2012. Pokemon Black and White 2 were released the same year, still using 2D graphics for the monsters, although animated, still. Dragon Quest Monsters has been far ahead of Pokemon since its inception, and yet Pokemon gets all the praise? Oh wow, Pokemon has sprites for all the monsters. Oh wow, Pokemon has animated sprites. Oh wow, Pokemon has a 3D world now. Oh wow, you can see Pokemon in the overworld now, even though Dragon Quest Monsters did it all years before Pokemon did. I will say that I vastly prefer the PlayStation 1 remake more though. While the differences are okay in this remake, the 2D and colors of the PlayStation 1 remake are easier on my eyes personally. Something else that really bothered me is how some bosses were changed or their order was moved around. Instead of Treeface, you now fight Big Eye, and how you can no longer walk around the boss areas. Instead, when you enter a boss hole, it loads to a stupid cutscene, taking away some exploration the original and remake had. However, some of the monster intros are terrifying. Take a look. The music is great, just like the PS1 remake, and the Game Boy Color version before it. The music here doesn't wane on the ears. Again though, I'm going to say I preferred the music in the PS1 version more. It doesn't sound as overdone as the 3DS version, that's why. Seriously, listen to the Starry Shrine breeding music. Coral Loop. Battles are back, as usual. This time you can have up to 4 monsters on your team and 4 on a reserve instead of just 3. They probably did this to account for the large monster edition feature, which I absolutely hate. If it wasn't broken in the first game, or the PS1 remake, then why change it? Just weaken the larger monster stats and the coding if you have to. Battles are fun, and instead of depending solely on the code working in your favor and randomly having a monster join you, or praying to God your meats work on them, you hit a scout button much like in Joker 1 and 2, although you don't have to have a ring this time. You can use this thing called Monster Bait, which is basically the meat feature from the Game Boy Color and PS1 versions to help aid your quest to have monsters join you, but it's not required. Breeding is back as usual and vastly helps power up your team, and believe me, you're going to need it now more than ever, because some bosses have had a power increase. They added something new to the post-game where some kingdoms team up to stop monsters that are trying to rule the world, much like in the Dragon Quest series this game is based on. All in all, I'd give this version of the game an 8 out of 10. I really wish it had been released in America, but these games tend not to sell very well at all. Which is why the mobile phone and tablet version, Dragon Quest Monsters Terry's Wonderland SP, was never localized in America or Europe. It is a Japan exclusive, like most of the Dragon Quest games now. What you are watching is me browsing the full website, which is still up to this very day. So I was correct in saying that there was a huge mystery in the Dragon Quest Monsters mobile gaming world. The official Wikipedia page of the Game Boy Color game and RPGgamer.com states the release date as January 28th, 2002. RPGgamer.com makes it sound like this is a remake of the Game Boy Color game for mobile phones with slight alterations. Before I get into judging, I need to talk about some more details of this whole matter. First, you need an iMode-compatible cell phone. I will be reading an article about the game that was published on RPGgamer.com by Justin Weiss in 2002.
Dragon Quest Monsters hits cell phones. The Dragon Quest games look to conquer yet another device, with the popular creature-raising RPG Dragon Quest Monsters recently released for cellular phones in Japan. For only 300 yen, about $2.26 a month, players can raise their own monsters with which to explore and battle. The game will consist of 4 main locations: a wooded area for gaining rare items, a town for selling those items for money, a pasture for training monsters by taking them on trips, though these trips cost money, and an arena where players can battle other players with their monsters. The graphics and engine for the game are a near-perfect conversion from the Game Boy Color game of the same name, though the game itself would be better described as an arrangement rather than a direct port. The cell phone version of Dragon Quest Monsters was officially released on the 28th of January. A release outside of Japan is unlikely, for it would probably require a complete rewrite for North American cell phones. For those inside Japan, however, it is easier than ever to prove oneself to be the best trainer of them all. By Justin Weiss.
Source: GameWatch. Interesting that you need to pay a subscription fee. Justin says the graphics are a near conversion from the Game Boy game, but then says the game is not a direct port, but an arrangement. So vague in my opinion. It should be noted that this is the only way to get the legendary super rare Ayabao monster, which is a yellow version of Watabao and Warbao but has a cell phone on the PS1 remakes. To do that, you need an iMode compatible cell phone with the cell phone Dragon Quest Monsters game on it, a PlayStation 1, and an iMode adapter. You would plug the iMode adapter into the PlayStation 1's controller port and then the opposite end into your iMode compatible cell phone. From there, an interface would load into a menu with multiple options. What you did after that is unknown, but apparently you could transfer your monsters from the PS1 games to the cell phone and transfer your cell phone monsters to the PS1 games, which is what you would have had to have done to get Ayabao. Which makes me wonder something else. Dragon Warrior Monsters 2, Terra, and Kobe for the Game Boy Color had a Nintendo event in which 75 people would win 3 rare monsters for their game that you couldn't get anywhere else. These monsters were Dimensor, Lamia, and Cagebao, another Watabao and Warbao type monster. Based on the screenshots of the PS1 remakes I found, Dimensor was included in the remakes on PS1, but I don't know if new worlds were added in the remakes to get the rare beast, or perhaps they were added to the cell phone game as well, and that's how you get them on the PS1 remakes, by transferring via iMode. Interesting to think about, isn't it? You need this mobile game in order to get Ayabao and Zoma's Devil for the PS1 remakes. Without it, I have not been able to find a GameShark code online for a PS1 emulator in order to get these monsters, so you'd be hard-pressed to look for one. In my confusion, I posted my video to Dragon Quest Reddit and asked for any information at all on the game. A user by the name of Noob Avenger came to the rescue and posted a link to a website from 2003 that had posted text and screenshots of the 2002 game. The mystery was solved. There was a game released in 2002 with Game Boy graphics that connected to the PS1 remakes of Dragon Quest Monsters 1 and 2, and a game released in 2006 that I'm not certain connected to any other game. As it turns out, this was the 2002 game that was compatible with the iMode adapter that allowed you to get Ayabao and Zoma's Devil on the PS1 remakes of Dragon Quest Monsters 1 and 2. I translated the page via Google, and this is what it said. Popular RPG Dragon Quest Monsters appears on Easy Web. Enix has started distribution of the game site Dragon Quest Monsters EZ for Easy Web. Only for Easy Plus compatible models, Phase 2 or later, the monthly usage fee is 300 yen. It is possible to exchange monsters with friends and mix by matchmaking. Copyright 2002/2003, Enix. You can enjoy popular RPGs that have shipped more than 4 million series in total at Game Boy and PlayStation. The content is to create your own strongest monster and aim to become the best monster master in the world. Access from easy top menu, play/enjoy, game, search for more, game, Dragon Quest Monsters EZ. In addition, the company will add a new app, Mysterious Tower app, to Dragon Quest Monsters J, distributed on J-Sky from March 12th. In the Mysterious Tower app, you can fight in cooperation with your own monsters. Copyright 2002/2003, Enix. In the same app, 12 types of towers are prepared. In the tower, you can get rare items and new items with special effects. Access from J-Phone menu, J-Sky main, mobile game, game app, RPG/adventure, Dragon Quest Monsters J. Related links. Something stuck out to me though. Another mystery maybe? The article mentioned an additional app called the Mysterious Tower app to a game called Dragon Quest Monsters J. What exactly was this app, and how is it back then they were able to connect two separate apps together on phones? Maybe the J in Dragon Quest Monsters J stood for an abbreviated version of Japan, like NTSCU and NTSCJ on video game labels to denote which region the game belongs to. It also listed this game's name as Dragon Quest Monsters EZ, so now the game has 3 names: Dragon Quest Monsters 1, Dragon Quest Monsters J, and Dragon Quest Monsters EZ. Or is Dragon Quest Monsters J in the Tower app a different game altogether since it was released on something called J-Sky and not Easy Web? Who knows? Also, the article mentioned that the app was available for Easy Plus phones. Was this the phone that had the iMode adapter port on it for connecting to the PlayStation 1 games? or was the game available for phones with and without the iMode port? I'm glad that some of my questions were answered, though it's still unclear on easy web phones if you went to a website and downloaded the game or played it directly from a web server. But all the searching has led to more questions than answers. Let's take a look at the screenshots. At first glance, the game definitely bears a close resemblance to the Game Boy game. Interesting note is when you zoom in, you'll notice Terry has blonde hair instead of his signature white hair from all the other games. Most colors appear slightly more vibrant than the Game Boy Color game. Monsters and character models appear to have slightly more detail too. This was also the first time Terry could own monsters from Dragon Warrior Monsters 2. As you can see in one of the screenshots, he has a puppet monster following him, which debuted in the second game in the Monsters series. We also get an idea of how battles worked too, but imagine having to squint on a tiny screen to see anything like HP and stats, and press extremely little buttons to move about the menus in the world. Monsters that make an appearance in the screenshots are Heel Slime, Regular Slime, Merman, Big Eye, Puppet, Mini Drac, and one that is blocked by the Scorch attack, so I can't tell what it is. There was an element of dungeon exploring present, so Justin Weiss wasn't lying when he said that it wasn't a direct port, but a near graphics conversion and montage of elements. Oddly, there are no images or references to Ayabahu or Zoma's Devil, or the iMode adapter, or how to get them. In the translated article though, it did mention the PlayStation remakes in passing. I posted about the name discrepancy on the Woodus forums since they have the 2006 mobile game listed under the 2002's name with no page dedicated to the 2002 game, and the owner or co-owner of the site Woodus responded. They sent me a website for the 2006 game with very interesting images and names. It appears the 2006 game was hosted or sponsored by the Japanese branch of none other than Yahoo, and also created, hosted, or only compatible with Easy Web devices. Easy Web was the same company mentioned in the 2002 game's website page. The 2006 game last got an update message in 2017, but since I can't read Japanese, I have no idea what it says. Since the archive of the website does not have copyable text, for some reason everything shows up as save image as when I right click or left click on it, I was unable to see what the 2017 update said, and I was unable to translate anything. If these games truly were web or cell phone only games made for a specific amount of phone models, they probably are lost to time. Update to February 2022. I was scouring through some links for the Dragon Quest Monsters 1+2 website, and I found links that led to information about this mobile game. Of course, everything was in Japanese, and I couldn't translate everything, but I was able to translate a vast majority of the information that was on the pages. And now I will read them to you. The Q&A. Here's the PlayStation version. Regarding the cooperation of the mobile phone version, we answer various questions. 1. What is the level of the monster transferred to the PS world? If you transfer a mobile-born monster to PS, he will reach all 10 levels. Also, the growth limit is level 20 for him. 2. What will happen to the monster's special skills? Keitai-born monsters have mastered special skills that can only be used in the arena. When this is transferred to the world of PS, because PS monsters move in a state where they have acquired the feats that they can learn as a race, he does not take over the feats he used in the arena. It seems that the more adventurous the world is, the more feats you will acquire. 3. How will the gender of the monster change? There are variations in the tendency of the gender to be born for each race. Even when a mobile-born monster is transferred to PS, gender is determined by the probability of each race. In other words, in a race where only males appear in the wild, even if transferred to the world of PS, he is only a male. 4. Did your feat rank up? In the world of PS, like Hoimi, Bahoimi Gira, Bagariyama, there are feats that rank up as your level and stats grow. PS-born monster gets status in his mobile world. When the conditions for upgrading the feat are reached, when you return to the world of PS, your feats will be ranked up. 5. Did your experience points decrease a little? The experience value of the monster transferred from the world of mobile to PS is it will be the minimum experience required to reach her level at that time. 6. Did the wild value increase when returning to the world of PS? The monsters who are adventuring from the PS world to the mobile world, even in the world of mobile phones, the wild value may increase. 7. If I enter the password key incorrectly, will the password not pass? When transferring a monster, be sure a password key is issued by the receiver. The sender will issue a transfer spell password based on his password. Don't duplicate your own important monster because the password key and the transfer spell are integrated. Either way, if you make a mistake or lose the input, it cannot be transferred. Dragon Quest Monsters iApply. Enjoy Dragon Quest Monsters on your mobile phone service. A fun world like this will spread from your mobile phone. Now let's see him in the world from the mad below. In the PlayStation version Dragon Quest Monsters 1 and 2, he can also raise his fellow monsters on the mobile phone. Service name, Dragon Quest Monsters iApply. Fee, 300 yen per month, excluding tax. Currently being delivered. Compatible models, NTT Docomo iApply, compatible terminals, access method, iMenu, menu list, game 1. Role-playing, Dragon Quest Monsters I. To use the service, apply for NTT Docomo's iMode service, 300 yen per month, and packet charges are required. The service has ended. The suggested retail price is the price at the time of publication. NTT Docomo's iApply compatible terminal phone. Prepare and follow the access method above. On the side of Dragon Quest Monsters 1, let's access. If you select join, you can register as a member. After this, the necessary apps. If you download it from the site, your ranch is in the world of mobile. It will spread. If the website has been translated accurately on Google, it sounds like the webpage had been updated after the service had shut down. What really confuses me, though, is that it says your ranch is in the world of mobile, it will spread. Does this mean that other people could join your ranch? Who knows? Here is link number 2. You can play with the app on your mobile phone. The ranch is his base. The monster you got. Take care here. There is also a tool shop in this place. Get ready for your trip. Take the monsters on the ranch and have an adventure. You can take her monster on a journey from the travel reception on the ranch. The monster who goes on a journey returns with various experiences. If you experience various trips, her status will grow. Bring in other monsters. It seems that the results of your trip will change depending on the items you have. Mysterious Forest is a game that you can enjoy with the Forest app. How you yourself move the hero and the monster. Adventure in the dungeon together. Moreover, her dungeon changes shape every time she enters. It's an automatically generated dungeon. There are valuable items that are useful for traveling. You can get it. You need the help of her monster to go deep into the forest. Use the monster's HP and MP to break obstacles. The stronger the monster, the deeper you go. Maybe she can find more valuable items there. Earn tools in a mysterious forest and grow monsters on a trip. Finally, let's interact with various monsters on the city site. Page number 3. Popular monsters from the Dragon Quest series. Raise them as friends and create your own monster. That Dragon Quest Monsters, as a Java application-compatible game of JPhone, finally appeared on the App Ranch. Dr. Monster. Growing on a ranch, he immediately monsters can be mixed. In the ranch, also the monster market. Here immediately buying and selling monsters you can. In the JPhone version, taking advantage of the large capacity, Ranch app and Forest app integrated. From ranch to adventure, you can come and go smoothly. Equipped with many functions unique to the JPhone version. Of course, PlayStation version with Dragon Quest Monsters 1 and 2. Cooperation is also possible. Reduce traffic by taking advantage of large capacity apps. You can enjoy it at an easy to use packet charge. Service name, Dragon Quest Monsters J. Compatible models, JPhone Java application compatible models. Delivery time, June 12th. Fee, 300 yen per month, excluding tax. Access method, JPhone menu, JSky main, mobile game, game app RPG/adventure, Dragon Quest Monsters J. To use it, you need to apply for JSky and use the web communication fee. The service has ended. The suggested retail price is the price at the time of publication. Page number 4. The town site is a place where various monster masters gather. Here is his monster mix and his matchmaking. Not only his monster interaction with the PlayStation version, you can also participate in the arena. It's exactly the place for his master exchange. Two monsters that you raised, even more powerful if mixed, a monster is born. Got on the app, only monsters you can mix it here. Specify the other party. You can apply for a matchmaking. The matchmaking is her masters. Putting out monsters and mixing them. With monsters I don't have, it can be mixed with the cooperation of friends. From the PlayStation version, bring monsters. To PlayStation version. To take a monster you can. Your monster can be grown anywhere. Because it uses a transfer spell, it's special. He doesn't even need a cable. Buy monsters. It's a place where you can sell. Furthermore, here against various ranchers. Exchange monsters you can. Exchange monsters. Mix it to make it a powerful monster. Once you've raised it, you're finally out of luck. If you register in the arena from the city site, 4 monster masters nationwide, you can challenge the battle. Page number 5. Select the monster you want to participate. If you register in the arena, register it in the same arena, from masters all over the country. People with similar abilities are selected. You can play against each other by matching method. The grown monster. Determined for each race, learn special skills. What kind of strategy does he want? You can decide in advance. I can do it. Free battle registered in the arena, all masters are candidates for competition. After the match at the national level, he also knows the ranking. For those who want to use their friends, a private battle corner is also available. Make your own room. You can play against each other only in that room. Of the match that was held by the matching method, you can see the situation on the arena app. It is as if you're in a real battle. What a sweaty development in his hand. You can enjoy it on the screen of Keitai. Dragon Quest. After the release of Monsters 1 and 2, the PS Arena is finally open. Of the monsters raised in the PS version, he will play the special skill as it is. You can use it. Page number 6. With monsters on the PlayStation, Keitai Monster. Both of them are monsters of Dragon Quest. There are some differences in him. For example, he's a mobile monster. He doesn't have a level. So basically, PS-born monsters in the world of mobile phones, what you can do is basically it will be the following 4. Of course, in the world of mobile phones, he will be able to do more things. In other words, a PS-born monster, you can mix it in the world of mobile phones. He can't sell in the market. He also has a monster born in Keitai. When transferred to the world of PS, he can do level and gender feats. Reborn as a PS-born monster, it will be the monster that was once transferred to PS, even if you return to the world of mobile phones, the composition, etc. Be careful that you can't do it. Link number 7. From PlayStation to Keitai, when transferring a monster, how to send as Adventure Monster. There is a way to send it as an Exchange Monster. This difference, he should keep him open. From Keitai Denwa mode, the monsters to be transferred with Keitai Deboken, so to speak, go out to the world of mobile phones. It's a monster. The transfer spell is 31 characters and he's okay. The seat of the monster remains on the PS Ranch. Eventually, I have to return to the world of PS, or mobile phone, returning a monster to her mountain. When he breaks up, he's a monster. She will lose her place. Exchange monsters can be exchanged. Think of it as an adventure monster. The transfer spell requires 127 characters because all the monsters replace this spell through mobile phone. It will be possible to exchange between PS-born monsters, but because he's a monster, since he will be departing from the PS Ranch, so to speak, in the same way as Yamani Kasu, that's why. Of course, once again, as an exchange monster, he could return to the original ranch, though. Link number 8. Here are the PlayStation monsters. As an adventure monster, he calls Keitai. I will explain the procedure for forwarding. Of course, it is displayed on PS and mobile phone. Don't forget to take a close look at the procedure. The monster was raised only by her. It's an important comparison. Until the transfer is complete, do not interrupt on the way. PlayStation power and Keitai power supply, and that the radio wave is not cut off. Be careful enough. 1. From mobile phone mode, select Adventure in Keitai. Select Send Monsters. 1. PS Cooperation function of the site. Monster transfer, select Receive from PS. Select Adventure is the purpose. 2. There is a monster you want to send, Book of Adventure, choose from memory cards. From mobile, the password key is Publish. 3. Issued by Keitai, enter the password key. 4. The monster you want to send, choose. 2. issued by PS Forward Spell Input. The spell transferred from PS Publish. If you enter it correctly, transfer is finished. When a transfer spell is issued, the Book of Adventure is overwritten. At that point, the monster, he has left the ranch. After this, he turned off the PS. The mobile phone cannot communicate. Switch screens. If you can't type the spell correctly, because the monster never comes back. Be careful when dealing with it. Link number 9. Here's a monster born in Keitai. I will explain the procedure to transfer to the PlayStation. Of course, the procedure displayed on mobile phone and PS is also, don't forget to take a closer look. After all, an important monster, transferred to a completely different world. At all, he is in a hurry. Until the transfer is complete, do not interrupt on the way. PlayStation power and Keitai power supply so that the radio wave is not cut off. Be careful enough. 1. PS cooperation function of the site. Monster transfer, select send to PS, select the monster you want to transfer. 1 from the Keitai Dinwa mode, select Adventure in Keitai, select Receive Monsters. 2. Issued by PS Password Key Input. 2. I want to put a monster Book of Adventure, choose from memory cards. The password key from PS Publish. A spell transferred from Keitai Publish. 3. Issued by Keitai. Enter the transfer spell. With the triangle button, you can get a lot of points because it can be attached in one shot. It's convenient. When the transfer spell is issued, the monster is his mobile. You have left the ranch. After this, he turned off the PS. The mobile phone cannot communicate, switch screens. If you can't type the spell correctly because the monster never comes back, be careful when dealing with it. 4. If you can enter it correctly, in the PS world, name the monster. The delivery is over. What does any of this mean? I have no clue. I was just glad that I was able to find more information on this game and get a rough translation of things just to see how it might have played out. We still don't know how you would have gotten Abao or Zoma's Devil, but I'm assuming since you can buy and sell monsters, perhaps that's how you would get them, is by buying them at the marketplace. Or maybe you got them as some kind of first time using the mobile features on the Dragon Quest Monsters 1 and 2 remakes as kind of like a little present or gift, like mystery gift on Pokemon. Who knows, but maybe someone will come around eventually and tell us how all of this stuff actually worked. So if you're Japanese and actually experienced this game or can translate this more accurately, please reach out. The Dragon Quest Monsters wiki page does state that Zoma's Devil's first appearance was in the PlayStation remakes of Dragon Quest Monsters 1 and 2, and that he later appeared in Dragon Quest Monsters Joker 2 Professional, so Square Enix has not forgotten about Zoma's Devil. And an advertisement for Dragon Quest Monsters Super Light showing the entire Watabaou family also has Aibao, which proves that Square Enix has not forgotten about Aibao. The only weird thing is that I don't know why the other Watabaou family members are actual drawings, yet Aibao is its pixel art from Dragon Quest Monsters 1+2 on the PS1. But it does show that Square Enix hasn't forgotten about Aibao. Join me next time when I review Dragon Quest Monsters 1. Wait, what? Now it's time for more differences between Pokemon Red, Blue, Green, Yellow, and Dragon Warrior Monsters. In Pokemon, you go around catching Pokemon for a professor called Oak. In Dragon Quest Monsters, you go through Traveler's Gates to defeat boss monsters for the King of Great Tree. He doesn't care whether you catch all the monsters or not. In Pokemon, there was a floor tile set in the Pokemon Tower that healed your team. In Dragon Warrior Monsters, certain floor tiles would damage or kill your monsters. In Pokemon, your monsters faint. In Dragon Warrior Monsters, your monsters die as indicated by the coffins following you around when they run out of HP. In Pokemon, you heal your team at a Poke Center or by using revives. In Dragon Warrior Monsters, you heal them at a priest by using the moves Vivify or Revive, or by using a World Leaf. That's all the differences for this episode. Check out my next video for more differences between Pokemon and Dragon Warrior Monsters.
涼子何やってんだ
ドラゴンクエストモンスターズ2出たのよね2
姉ちゃんどこまで進んでる？
あスライムとスライム配合するとキングスライムになるんだ
なんだ背後ってって言ってる間にキング広瀬になってる
嘘
さすが女優っていうか今度はメタル広瀬に
マジハマったのね
ゲームボーイ用ソフト「ドラゴンクエストモンスターズ2ルカの旅立ち」3月9日発売エニックス
After going through the 5 versions of Dragon Warrior Monsters 1, I will now be going through Dragon Warrior Monsters 2, Terra's Adventure and Kobe's Journey, which are basically the same game with very, very minor differences between them. Seriously, there was no reason to make these 2 separate games other than to try and, for the first time in this series, rip off Pokemon. I need to get this out of the way, otherwise I'll forget while writing the script. There was an urban legend online shortly after these games came out that lasted well into the 2008 time period, of there being 3 ultra-rare monsters and almost nobody knew if they were real, and if so, how to get them. They are Cagebao, which is related to Watabao and Warbao, and Ibao, except he is brown and orange with a sleeping hat on. Next is Dimensor, which is a dinosaur coming out of a dimension portal. Third is Lamia, which is a giant colorful bird. Yes, they are real, and only 75 of each were given away during a Nintendo event in which you'd write in and they'd pick 75 lucky winners to send their game in to get the beast, and they'd send the game back to you. Dimensor's max level is 9 for some reason. I don't know why Nintendo did that, so if you want to get him to a breedable level, you'll need cheats. Luckily, I'm going to post the cheats right here, and in the description. Honestly, their base stats are trash unless you breed them 6 or more times. With that out of the way, it's time to get to the review. This game will be judged on 3 criteria: graphics, music, and core loop. Core loop are things that must be repeated over and over again that can make a game boringly repetitive or make a game incredibly fun. First up are graphics. This game's graphics are a huge improvement over the first Monsters game. Colors are more spread out, areas are more vivid, and a lot of monsters from the first game have more dynamic colors or even altered colors. The island and homeworlds are absolutely gorgeous. I am madly in love with the Sky World. You also get abilities in this game which are akin to HMs and TMs in Pokemon, yet you don't teach these to your monsters. They're given to you by Warbao from legendary items you have to find. Monsters can now be found on the land or in the colorful sea. Everything just seems more detailed to me compared to the first game. I absolutely love the variety of graphics and level layouts. Gameplay also seems faster than in the first game too. This includes walking and battle animations. Speaking so much of the first game, Terry makes an appearance as an optional boss once you beat Limbo World. The keys you have to gather are also very detailed despite only appearing for a few seconds on screen. Music. The music sounds more varied as well, with a greater variety of songs and more detail added to the songs. The main home theme of Great Log is just so mystical, you get a relaxed feeling hearing it. The song from Limbo is also unsettling. The cheery tune of the Pirate World, which plays in a lot of other key worlds as well. This just happens to be the place I most associate with it. Core loop. Breeding returns. This time the name of the monster that will be created shows on the top right of the screen rather than having to confirm 2 monsters like in the first game before you can find out what's going to be created. That's a huge quality of life improvement. There are 312 monsters in this game, which at the time in Pokemon Gold, Crystal, and Silver, there were only 251 in those games. Breeding in these games never gets old. Burdensome, but never old. Here's a trip down nostalgia lane, a print ad that was in a magazine advertising the games at the time. It gave a basic gestalt about what the point of the game is: find monsters, battle monsters, train monsters, breed monsters, love monsters, 2 monstrous RPGs. Link 'em too. The back of both game boxes telling you a breakdown of what the game's about and what it's compatible with. It's compatible with the Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance, Link Cable, and the Super Game Boy. Even more nostalgic are screenshots from Gamers.com from the late 2000s to early 2001, showing off traveling through a random key world with Kobe, Terra, her mom, and Slime in their house, Kobe in a random dungeon, and an overworld of Great Log from the first cutscene. The most nostalgic thing, however, will be Nintendo Power scans, back when Nintendo Power was a thing. Now it's a podcast. No joke, look it up. These scans provide information about the story and they pretty much leak it. They also provide hints, a look at monsters, a look at your characters, and also a little bit of a review in between the lines. On the bright side, and not so bright side, you get a more clearer vision of how these monsters are supposed to look versus how they look in the games. And let me tell you, a lot of them look a lot better and scarier in the games and a lot more derpy in the actual artwork. Everything about the Dragon Warrior Monsters series is fun to me. I'd give Tamer and Kobe a 10 out of 10. These games are just incredibly great. They're different enough from the first game, but they don't feel so different that you're confused when you pick them up to play. It's like you're playing a DLC patch of the first game with the option of being a male or a female depending on which version you buy. Now it's time for more differences between Dragon Warrior Monsters and Pokemon. At this point in time, games up until Dragon Warrior Monsters 2 and Pokemon Crystal will be compared. In Dragon Warrior Monsters 2, your character uses powers given to you by Warabao to traverse obstacles, such as flying. In Pokemon, you have to teach your Pokemon HMs and TMs to traverse certain obstacles. In Dragon Warrior Monsters 2, you travel to cities and towns via walking a map-like overworld, and the game quickly loads into the town or city once you step on the icon. In Pokemon, you travel via routes and most of the time walk directly into the city you're headed to with no loading screen. Just like the PlayStation 1 remake of Dragon Warrior Monsters 1, on the same disc are the remakes of Dragon Warrior Monsters 2, Terra and Kobe, which are known as Dragon Quest in Japan, not Dragon Warrior. I already did an incredible review of the first PlayStation remake of the first Monsters game, check that out, and I have finally compiled enough video for the remakes of the second Monsters game. The second game took so much longer because it has a slight alteration to the story, and since I couldn't read Japanese, I didn't know what to do. So I had to do a little bit of trial and error, and had a few people from the Woodus Dragon Warrior website try and help, and one Japanese YouTuber that actually had a game playthrough. I will be judging this remake on 3 criteria: graphics, music, and core loop. The graphics, much like the first remake, are absolutely gorgeous, and even more vibrant to my eyes than the first remake. The environment is not a direct recreation of Great Log, being that they added a few new areas to explore. Just like the Game Boy Color version of the second games, tournaments aren't as important as they are in the first game either. The water is gorgeous in Great Log and Pirate World. Oasis feels even more like a deserted desert. Ice Key looks even more eerie. And Skyworld feels huge for some reason, as if it is miles longer than the original. So they did an excellent job recreating the worlds and making them feel similar enough that you won't get lost, but changed enough that it doesn't feel repetitive. Next up is music. Just like in the first remakes, these remake soundtracks are huge improvements over the Game Boy Color versions, obviously. More instruments and an orchestral-like sound really bumps up everything in terms of sound and quality. Third is core loop. Everything from the other games returns. Breeding, exploring, battling, item hunting. Also, apparently Lamia and Cage Bow and Dimensor return in the remakes of these games, but I couldn't find out how to get them, since the Game Boy Color games you had to enter a Nintendo contest and send your cartridges in. Maybe getting them in these games has something to do with the iMode adapter, which you need to get the 2 new monsters for the PS1 remakes, Iabao and Zomas Devil. The world may never know. While the official wiki for the game said that the hidden monsters were in both versions of the game on the PS1 remake, they never listed how you got them. I found out in January of 2021 that you don't need an event to get these monsters, but I was still uncertain about how to get them. The official website mentioned them being openly available with no further explanation. I Love My Name 11 said, there's always a chance for them to spawn in enemy master teams. Obviously, it's a random chance, but possible. I've had Lamia spawn a bunch, and I've only seen Cage Bao once, though. I assume Dimensor is the same. Water-type monsters are a pain as well, as those aren't in any world in Monsters 1, so either a trade between games, or a enemy master again. Please note that while this was confirmed by I Love My Name 11, I, myself, have not been able to confirm this, even after beating the games and fighting enemy masters. I have not once encountered any of the secret monsters. An information page advertisement for Dragon Quest Monsters Super Light shows Cage Bao and iBao, proving that Square Enix has not forgotten about these monsters many years after they debuted. While scouring the internet, I also found what appears to be Cage Bao in some type of mobile tablet card game, which honestly makes me happy that Square Enix has not forgotten about such an obscure monster. Zoma's Devil also appeared in Dragon Quest Monsters Joker 2 Professional Edition. Lamia and Dimensor also made an appearance in some kind of online advertisement, and how you can tell this is kind of old is Lamia's design is the design from Dragon Warrior Monsters 2 and Dragon Warrior Monsters 1 and 2 for the PS1 and Game Boy Color respectively, and they no longer use this model for Lamia, instead using the model for Great Godbird. Also an interesting detail is it shows that Lamia and Dimensor can be bred to make what appears to be the Great Godbird. This whole thing is very confusing. I don't know if this is advertising Dragon Quest Monsters 1 and 2 for the PlayStation or not, because Dimensor could not reach anything above level 9 in the Game Boy Color, therefore it was unable to be bred. And the screenshots themselves mention the year 2014, which would coincide with Dragon Quest Monsters Super Light, the mobile game. Upon checking the Super Light monster list on Woodus.com, I saw Dimensional Dragon, which is Dimensor, but I didn't see Lamia, Ramia, or Empyre, the Great Godbird. So all we have to go on how to obtain these secret monsters is what I Love My Name 11 said. Enough about the secret monsters for now. I did go back to the Dragon Quest Monsters 1 and 2 PlayStation 1 website page and translated what I could on some of the pages there. Warabao says, I've come often here, Dragon Quest Monsters 1 and 2. It's a well on Pulpung Island where you can see everything. Go through the mysterious door that everyone cares about. Various guys enjoy the fun of this world. I will tell you perfectly. The suggested retail price is the price at the time of publication. The place you care about. Click. Luca. Hello, my name is Luca. Dad, I just came to Malta with my mother. I'm my sister too. I've come to a new country. Suddenly, the country of Malta is in a big pinch. Luca. To get things that protect Malta, various things, I decided to leave for a mysterious different world with monsters. Warabao profile page. Ichiao. It seems to be the spirit of the country of Malta, but always mischievous with Prince Kameha. I'm doing it. It's pretty bad. And it's from the country of Malta. Everyone seems to be excited actually. It's a pretty good guy. ... Luca. Tara and Kobe. Our dad is a Monster Ranch rancher, invited by the King of Malta to this country. I'm here. Of course. What are monsters? We are also big friends. I'm sure it's a monster from another world. I think I can get used to it. Luca. Kameha. Prince of Malta, but I like mischievous things and always have Maltese people. It seems to be annoying. Thanks to this person, the Navel of Malta protects the vitality of the country of Malta. It's broken. Something interesting about this translation from Google is that it calls Great Tree the island of Malta. Now, if you're familiar with the Bible and the Book of Acts, Malta is where Paul shipwrecked just outside of and ended up on the island of Malta. Coincidence? I don't know. Maybe I'm looking too deeply into it. King. I came often. I am a key appraiser. I've been adventuring in various different worlds so far. If it's a different world, ask me. Every time I enter a mysterious different world, it's a world where the shape changes. Various monsters live there. Make such monsters friends. I'm going on an adventure together. From the door of the trip in the country of Taoju, you can go to a mysterious different world. The shape changes every time you enter. It's a strange dungeon. A mysterious door in Malta. When you open it with a mysterious key, you can go to another world. There's every map. It's a world that changes shape. Because I made a record of my trip, please take a look from the link below. Here, using a mysterious key in a different world where I have been adventuring, especially the interesting world, let me introduce you. The world I introduce changes from time to time. Please come and see me often. The monster boss in this world, anything about humans Nozami, it seems that it will come true. What I got a lover, what a family has made, what became the king, ... But is it really happy? Joe Chime I met in this town. He was single for a long time and finally it seems that he married a woman named Myrrh. However, for some reason, Myrrh is wearing a bunny. On the other hand, from the boss of this world, a medicine that makes a monster look like a human, it seems that it was stolen. In the world of the beginning key, Stovine, who was a popular writer, what a discovery in this world, but he is for demons. To write a new work, it's in a state of sickness. The popular work, Adventure of Sutko. Will it be completed safely? The different world that can be reached from the mysterious door is called Desert World or Water World. There's a special, different world. Apparently, if you adventure in this world, it is said that the incident that occurred in Malta can be resolved. Only you can get the key to solve this case. Win a battlefield adventure in a different world of mysterious doors, you can get a mysterious key. If I appraise it, the name will be known. The other world that can be reached with the key, the map is different for each key. Of course, the towns and the shape of the dungeon is also different. There are various stories in the mysterious different world. The story seems to change depending on the name of the key. For example, you may be able to experience such a story with the key with a name like the one below. By all means, use your power to solve the incidents that occur in a different worlds. Welcome to my room here of Dragon Quest Monsters. I will teach everyone the fun. If you like this world, try entering the doors of other people. Everyone loves this world of Dragon Quest. All popular monsters will appear. Moreover, fun monsters become a companion to everyone. In this world, the monsters you made friends with fight against enemy monsters. The more you fight, your companion becomes stronger. I will acquire various special skills. Mixing the monsters you made friends with, by doing so a new monster will be born. Depending on how it is mixed, there are monsters that you have never seen. I might be born. 11 types of monsters and combinations. There is a pedigree. Just change the pedigree. In composition, it seems that a completely different monster may be born. The person that was working on the English patch translation for about 10 years did upload a YouTube video about a decade ago, showing the progress he had made before he faded into obscurity and never finished the translation. In conclusion, I'll give these remakes a 5 out of 5. I just wish they would have been released in America.
ドラゴンクエストモンスターズ2ビルとルカの不思議な鍵2月6日発売。
If there is one thing that utterly disgusts me, it is when Dragon Quest copies Pokemon, not the other way around, because Pokemon has been copying Dragon Quest since Pokemon first came out. If you go to the instruction manual for Dragon Quest Monsters 2, Iru and Luca's Marvelous Mysterious Key, you will clearly see a monster that is 100% a disgusting ripoff of Mega Charizard Y from Pokemon. Oh my god, when I saw this, I was brought to tears. I about vomited. It was just disgusting how unoriginal they went with this remake. Out of all the Pokemon to rip off, blatantly, they choose to rip off Mega Charizard. Why? Why? But anyway, let's continue. The game manual basically gives you a gestalt of the game, breaks down some features, shows you some monsters, and kind of gives you a little taste of what you're in for. The 3DS remakes of Dragon Warrior / Dragon Quest Monsters 2, Terra and Colby, were never released in America, just like the PlayStation 1 remakes and Terry's Wonderland 3DS. Since I could not find a ROM myself, and the hassle of getting it to run full speed on my Mac Pro seemed too great of a challenge, all the video you see in this review will be from this YouTuber. So I take no credit for the gameplay video. Just like Terry's Wonderland 3DS, both games got a huge overhaul in graphics, and the world was expanded even more. Everything is more spread out, monster fights are optional unless they're required to progress the story, and Terry and Colby can unlock new outfits during the story mode. What these outfits do besides change cosmetically? I have no idea. All the things that make Dragon Quest monsters better than Pokemon return. Lively monsters in the overworld, full 3D models, huge worlds to explore, and everything being more animated in every single way possible. Dark returns as the final story boss, but this time once you defeat him, he transforms into Ultra Dark, gains insane power boosts, an altered appearance, and a new cutscene. There's now a mega long post-game in which I assume you have to try and wake up a Sturk. It depends on which games you've played, will determine what you call him by. All the bosses from the Joker games make an appearance during this post-game story as well. That is something I truly appreciate about Dragon Quest Monsters remakes. They never just add one monster or a few new moves like Pokemon does. Instead, they make tons of post-game quests, new monsters, new moves, new areas that take weeks to beat. The music is once again remade and sounds absolutely beautiful as always. Listen closely. Woodist.com has an exhaustive list of almost everything you'll need to start and finish the game. They have area guides, cheat codes, costume lists, dream egg lists, the manual, mini medal rewards, monster arena list, monster list, music in-game, scout queue, screenshots, synthesizing guides, and videos that can help you complete this game, whether you know Japanese or not. Just like with Terry's Wonderland 3DS, there was a mobile/tablet version of Dragon Quest Monsters 2, Iru and Luca, that was released only in Japan, with extra features on top of the features from the 3DS version. Some of the new features include more monsters, over 900 appear in the mobile version, auto battle and auto exploration. By enabling auto battle in the settings, when you encounter a monster, the battle results screen will appear immediately without taking any action. Also using crest stones to strengthen monsters. They added a new post-game element called the Phantom's Key. By clearing the entirety of the story, you will receive the Phantom's Key, which unlocks a new door. Similar to Terry's Wonderland 3D, Iru and Luca SP also got its own website. The website contains monsters, character profiles, a little preview of the game itself, a little bit of the post-game, some of the post-game monsters, so on and so forth. V-Jump magazine also showed off the game a little bit too, including that "Get that off my screen now." Based on everything I've watched of these remakes, I'll give them a 4 out of 5. Some things I wasn't fond of was all the backtracking that had to be done while watching the videos, and some of the struggles the player went through due to the huge power gaps in between later bosses. I'm really hoping that someday the 3 Joker games and 2 Monster remakes get released in English on the Switch or the successor to the Switch.
Game Boy Advance.
There was one game in the Dragon Quest Monsters series that was substantially different than all the others. Some people loved it, and some people hated it. As for the USA, we did not get it. That game is Dragon Quest Monsters Caravan Heart. I first played this on my Sony PSP Go a long time ago, after I found out it had an English patch. Oddly enough, back then, I loved this game. However, after replaying it for this review, I grew to despise it. Let's find out what happened. The manual for Caravan Heart shows off some of the characters and monsters on the cover, as well as the logo. You see different character class types as well as artwork, and you can compare them to their in-game sprites in your head. You see more monsters spread throughout, as well as how to traverse the land, some short dungeoneering tips and tricks, and also a ripoff of Red Eye's Black Metal Dragon, let's face it. It also shows you how the caravan system works, with your leader monster and your leader member. Woodus also has a list of cheat codes for the game. They also have maps, manuals, monster lists, the music in-game screenshots, a walkthrough, and wallpapers. The maps are extremely detailed and high-quality rips from the game. Monster sprites have been heavily upgraded from their Game Boy Color counterparts. Graphic-wise, the game is beautiful. While it doesn't look as good as Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire, as a successor to Dragon Quest Monsters 2 on the Game Boy Color, it is a nice upgrade in terms of style and look. The text boxes move slowly, and towns are no longer explorable via a map, but instead you walk into a town and have a text option to choose which building to go to. That was a bit of a stifler for me, since I like walking around towns and not having a text box decide for me. Areas are more animated though, and unlike the other three Dragon Quest Monsters handheld games, this one actually has backgrounds during battle, like the PS1 remakes, and some of them are even more animated than the PS1 remakes. The graphics at the different caravan locations are beautiful as well. When first playing this game, I liked the idea of having a moving base in the ration system, but in hindsight, it was new to me. I'm all for innovation, but this game seems to have been trying to mix Dragon Quest series with the Monster spin-off series, and it failed. That kind of feed your teammate rations which decline with each step you take just doesn't fit the Monster spin-off style. On top of that, you have human teammates that can be recruited as well as having only one monster on your team at a time. Some things just don't really work well together. While getting money was easy in the Monsters game, in this one the struggle is real. The power gap toward the beginning is huge, battles take a long time, and the encounter rate is increased. I could barely take 4 steps without running into a monster battle. Sometimes you'll run into random events with mages or trees that either help or hurt you along the way. The music is beautiful and takes inspiration from the other games in the series. Take a listen. Core Loop. I've talked about most of this up above, but I want to touch on the breeding system being overhauled. In this game, you get your monster caravan guardian, if you will call it that. By fighting other monsters, you can get their hearts. After meeting some requirements, you can then morph your guardian monster and the heart or hearts of the other monsters you've defeated and make a new monster. God awful is what I will say. I totally prefer the breeding system in past games. If you truly want to see why I'm not a huge fan of this game, play it yourself. I'll give Caravan Heart a 2 out of 5. 10 billion questions asked. Now it's time for more differences between Dragon Warrior monsters and Pokemon. Everyone knows how you catch and breed monsters in Pokemon and the previous Dragon Warrior Monsters games. Well, in Caravan Heart, sometimes you get monster hearts after beating them in battle. After meeting enough requirements in Caravan Heart, you can morph your guardian monster with the heart or hearts of the ones you've beaten in battle and morph them into a new monster, a far cry away from the breeding system in past games. Thanks for watching. This iteration of Dragon Quest Mobile was released on cell phones in Japan only in 2006. There are no known videos of this game in action. except for the screenshots from Woodus.com. First up, graphics. Based on these screenshots, the graphics look beautiful, nearly as good as the PlayStation 1 remakes. They're more of a mixture of the remakes and Dragon Quest Monsters Caravan Heart for the Game Boy Advance. But to make graphics this beautiful for such a tiny cell phone screen, it makes me wonder how difficult it was to control your character and what the frames per second were on the game itself. Notice how sometimes the player is a girl, and in other screenshots the player is a boy. Could you choose your gender, I wonder? Towers from the second game also appeared in this game, and the fact that you can make the comparison shows loyalty to the second game's style, which I appreciate. In screenshots number 10, it looks as though you could take control of your monsters and travel an overworld map. The monster in the screenshot looks like Dragon Kid to me. Screenshot 22 appears to show Momonja and King Slime breeding? Or one giving the other a gift? It's hard to tell, but cool looking that this occurred while in the overworld map. I'll show the rest of the screenshots without commentary, just wanted to point out some interesting things I noticed. Next is, would I play it? Right now, absolutely. I love Dragon Quest Monsters and have ever since the first game came out. I'm kind of disappointed seeing as how I wanted actual gameplay video that I recorded, or at least videos of someone playing it. If you find any on the Japanese version of YouTube, let me know so I can update the video. Last year, I did a review of 2 Dragon Quest Monsters mobile games. At first, I originally thought they were the same game. Later, it turns out one came out in 2002 and another came out in 2006. The one that came out in 2006 didn't connect to any of the other games such as Dragon Quest Monsters Joker 1 for the DS, Joker 2 for the DS, or the PlayStation 1 remakes of Dragon Quest Monsters 1 and 2. I found the link to the website for this game, again, on Woodus.com, and decided to go back to it to see if I could translate some of the pages. What I translated was kind of interesting, but kind of a major letdown. On the homepage, you'll see an Arab dude named Osama with a blog text above his head. You click that, and you see some blog posts from long ago. While very confusing to me, it appears that the blog posts are a mixture of people that actually worked on the game, worked on the website, and people that actually play the game, sending messages back and forth to each other. Like I said, it's very confusing as to what the heck is going on in these supposed blog posts. I'm going to read 2 of them to you so you can get an understanding of what I'm talking about. A new region has appeared on the cooperative trip. That's right, today on February 23rd, the wetland and volcanic regions appeared. Let's go to Me Too. When I thought about it, I changed the UIM, so now I am desperately trying to redo the new Dragon Quest Monsters mobile crying face. My favorite, Takatsubo Bokozo, is no longer in my possession. However, I can play the cooperative trip even if I am a beginner level, so I don't feel like I've missed the flow yet, but now I'm working hard in the forest area. Let's have a party member take us to the new region. Everyone please enjoy Dragon Quest Monsters Mobile even more. Post 2. Daimijime, Moso Moso, Walla Walla. Shira, Rat, no, it's been a long time. It's been 3 months since the new monster appeared in April. Oh, if you notice it, it's already the rainy season. Han? When will the rest of the monsters come out? Killerin. Dear monster lovers, don't worry, I'm doing something in the middle of a mess. I can't tell you the details of Moso Moso yet, but if you just let me know about Chibaicho. No, wow, ha, I, Walla Walla, Walla Walla, Walla Walla, Walla Walla, Anakana Sana, out so, this kind of feeling. No, it's fun. And there were around 20 other blog posts just like that, where some of it related to the game and told you a new monster appeared or a new area was unlocked, but a lot of it was just random garble like that. There was even a post that talked about a guy getting swine flu and having to wear a mask. Yeah, that's how old this website is. And that's how relevant it is to today. Going to the actual Square Enix link not through Wayback Machine yields this message. When translated, it says this. Notice of termination of Dragon Quest Mobile service. 331. Thank you for using Dragon Quest Mobile. All services of Dragon Quest Mobile have been terminated on Saturday, March 31st, 2018. After Sunday, April 1st, 2018, Dragon Quest Mobile membership information, income points, purchase history, etc., and installed apps will not be available. Some download contents, Deco Mail, Standby, Chaku Uta, etc. can continue to be used even after the service ends. But please note we cannot guarantee the operation of all contents. Thank you for your patronage of many customers since the service started. We look forward to your continued support of Square Enix. In August of 2021, a user by the name of Naoya Shanota on Woodist.com posted information about phones that had these games on them: Dragon Quest III Trial and Dragon Quest Monsters Mobile: The Mysterious Dungeon, which was mentioned briefly in a prior video. They said, "I love that somebody takes the time to research this. I hope that this can help. I've been searching for a game called Before Crisis Final Fantasy VII. This game was distributed by Square Enix Mobile for iMode. This game has suffered the same as Dragon Quest Mobile. While I haven't found the game yet, I did find 3 Dragon Quest games. I have a lot to share. I have info on locations of where you can get other ones too, but do know that if you are able to play them now, it may be a demo version. Details on how to find it and where will be revealed shortly as I make sure that I provide the correct details. There's much to talk about. Let's talk about the phone I found the games on. Model: Docomo P-01B. This phone should come with a pre-installed with the following games. 1. Dragon Quest III Trial Version. This game is a demo version, but it is still playable. 2. Dragon Quest Mysterious Dungeon Mobile. My app requires downloading data from the servers, so as of now it is nothing but a proof of existence until a extraction method is available. Where to find a cell phone like this? If you live outside of Japan, you can use a service called Buyee to purchase items from Mercari Japan and Yahoo Auctions. This will be a much better place to buy these type of phones from instead of eBay. But do check eBay just to be sure, cause you never know. A picture of Dragon Quest III Mobile. A picture of what I assume to be this game. A picture of the game's icon on the phone menu or the Dungeon Companion app. They continued their message with, "Does the full version exist and is it playable?" The full version does exist on some cell phones out there. If the SIM card that purchased the phone is still inserted in the phone, then the game should be playable. But I am not sure, as Japanese people have shared little to none info or game about this that I have seen so far. And to answer anybody's question, yes, data extraction methods are being looked into, but it will take time due to the lack of research on these phones. I have more knowledge of where to find the other games, but will need to further investigate to make sure if my sources are correct. So it was not a major game, it was just a game that people could play together on mobile cell phones, and possibly on computer and laptops. That's really it. That's all I've been able to find. And that's good enough for me. Now time for more differences between Dragon Warrior Monsters for the Game Boy Color and Pokemon Red, Blue, Green, and Yellow. In Dragon Warrior Monsters, your monster's max level cap increases the more you breed it with other monsters, with a known maximum level of 99. In Pokemon, all monsters' max level is 100 by default. In Pokemon, you can teach Pokemon moves via TMs and HMs. In Dragon Warrior Monsters, your monsters can only learn moves via level up and breeding. In Pokemon, moves are learned at set levels for each monster. In Dragon Warrior Monsters, in order to learn moves, a monster must have a certain amount of MP, intelligence, and level requirement met. That's all in this episode. Watch my next video to learn about more differences between Dragon Warrior Monsters and Pokemon. While scouring Woodist.com, I discovered another Dragon Quest Monsters game called Monster Tamer that was released for Japanese mobile phones on the iApp, something that was also used for the other Dragon Quest mobile games. It was released in 2004 on the 1st of March, but there's no video of the game in action, only very vague screenshots. Even the Woodist description says they're not quite sure of this one, it looks like a pet game of some sort. It appears that the monster Watabao from Dragon Warrior Monsters 1 is your instructor in this game. It appears he teams up with other monsters like Golem in the introduction to show you how the game works. There seems to have been multiple options to select from on a menu on your phone. What these options are and what these words say are unknown to me since I don't read Japanese. This, however, does make me curious about the complexity of the game, especially being a quasi 3D game on an old 2004 cell phone. That in itself is impressive to me. On the top right of this image, it looks like a weird picture of an old man speaking into a young person with a big nose's ear, or a map, and I can't tell if you're fighting the imp, because I see flames around it, or if you're encountering it to take it back to your farm. Also note on the bottom there's an arrow that points to the left and to the right. What do you think this means? Tell me in the comments. Here, it looks like Slime is explaining something about Wyvern, also known as Chimera, and there's an option on the top right for 3 and 5 with an arrow pointing up. Perhaps these are the Wyvern's stats, or switching its place in the farm? This game, just like the other two lost Dragon Quest Monsters games, is very vague in what information we do have on it. If Woodus forum user Nayo Shanota is to be believed, he is working on methods with other people to extract these lost games and find out what you are meant to do in them. As it sits, seeing a 3D game playing on a cell phone from 2004 is incredible and mind-blowing to me. I think it will be fun to play once the users on Woodus get these files extracted and in a playable format.
Come on, let me do it. I can cast the spell.
Pipe down, will ya? I don't think a spell is gonna work on this one.
The Dragon Quest series continues with Dragon Quest Monsters Joker. Scout and train the ultimate team. You can compete in the Wild Card World Cup over Nintendo Wi-Fi connection and become the world's greatest monster scout. Dragon Quest Monsters Joker, only for Nintendo DS. Rated everyone 10 and up. Collecting the best doesn't come easy.
I've finally gotten here. All reviews have led to this moment. The game and the Dragon Quest Monsters series that made me want to start these reviews. Joker 1 was a game I played in 2008 up until 2016. Believe it or not, this game came out on the original Nintendo DS in Japan in 2006. Isn't it interesting that it went unnoticed? Everything is in full 3D minus some grass and the leaves on the trees, but come on, don't knock it for that. Yet Pokemon Diamond and Pearl came out in 2007 and still used sprites for the monsters and a mostly 2D world, yet got all kinds of praise. Epic eye roll. I love this game for a number of reasons. The living, breathing monsters that roam the map, all monsters are in 3D, the battles are more animated than the Pokemon games that came out around the time and even after it. It pushed the limits of the Nintendo DS. The worlds are vibrant and colorful, akin to Super Mario Sunshine. The music fits the entire world of the game. The story, while being generic, is very mature for a monster collecting game of the time period. Core Loop. Breeding, synthesizing monsters returns in this game. Apparently in the Japanese version, monsters have genders like in past games, but it was apparently changed to polar patterns in the USA release. I cannot confirm this, I just read it on some forums. Okay, so synthesizing returns in this game. This time, you get to choose 2 parents and have an option of choosing one of 3 possible outcomes. An odd but welcome change from the past of only having one set outcome. Most of the breeding formulas you are familiar with from the past Monsters games are thrown out the window, so it's a total mystery as to which monsters you'll have to choose from. The subtle changes make it fun and different from past games, and therefore your curiosity meter should be greatly increased if you've never played anything past Dragon Warrior Monsters 2. Running through different islands and dungeons are fun as well. Woodist.com has a huge synthesizing guide. You need to find out a monster and how to synthesize it, this is the guide and the website to use. While it is interesting to note that the USA did get positive and negative charges for monsters, the Japanese release of the game brought back genders from the original Dragon Warrior monsters for the Game Boy Color. Or so I've been told. I've never played the Japanese version of this game. Woodist also has high quality promotional monster artwork, magazine scans, and even the manual for the game. While trying to find unused content, there wasn't the cutting room floor page for this game. However, when I searched Dragon Quest Monsters unused content or cut content, this showed up on a now removed page. A monster was planned for Dragon Quest Monsters Joker and Dragon Quest Monsters Joker 2 Professional called Platina King. What this monster is, or was, I don't know. If you have any information on this cut monster, please tell me in the comments. A notable Reddit user years ago was scouring through the game files and found what appears to be the original planned hero of the game. But the model isn't in the game, so he had to take these textures and apply them to the current model of the hero, and this is the result. If you notice, the face kinda looks a little bit like Terry from Terry's Wonderland 3DS. For the time and system this came out during, it should have sold way more than it did. I'll give this game a 10 out of 10. Every question asked.
You've crashed into a mysterious island packed with giant monsters, and it's up to you to recruit, synthesize, and battle them. Introducing Dragon Quest Monsters Joker 2, Strength in Monsters. In stores September 19th.
Once again, Woodist.com comes to save the day with all the information you'll need to know about Dragon Quest Monsters Joker 2 and Joker 2 Professional Edition. They have backups of pre-release and post-release scans of magazines talking about the game, the manual which included character profiles, and much more. Sometimes in the wild you will see monsters interacting with each other, such as a group of mad peckers, otherwise known as weakened beacons, running in a circle in the Doubtback area. What can I say? Joker 2 is a decent game. Unlike the Island Super Mario Sunshine setting of the first Joker game, this one kicks up the variety a notch. You've got forests, and Outback, snow, cliffs, a beach, and a few other locations. You've also got a huge problem. A huge monster problem. This game once again proves that Pokemon is weak and lame and 400 steps behind Dragon Quest Monsters. When did this game come out again? Oh right, 2010, on the original Nintendo DS. What Pokemon game was out on the DS at the time? Pokemon Black and White. Which game was filled with huge worlds and monsters that roam across the world in full 3D models? Joker 2. Which game still used 2D sprites, although slowly started to introduce 3D elements? Pokemon Black and White. Dragon Quest Monsters is better than Pokemon in every single way, and Joker 2 is no exception. The huge monsters they added to this game really creep me out. They pop up when you least expect it, and even scare other monsters in the overworld into hiding. Something very unique and that Pokemon has yet to do. Compared to the first game, which had slightly blurry graphics, this game adds much needed detail and less blur to everything. Sure, your character looks like Super Saiyan Gohan with black hair, but that's only a minor nuisance. I mean, Akira Toriyama, the creator of Dragon Ball, is also a character designer for Dragon Quest, so can you really complain that characters look like their Dragon Ball counterparts? The music is once again an assortment of songs from past Dragon Quest games. Songs generally match the location you are at too. Take a listen. The cutscenes have also improved a tiny bit too, with more action being shown on screen than in past Dragon Quest games. Dragon Quest Monsters Joker 2 did not sell well in America. Last time I checked, it only sold around 11,000 copies. A major flop, which is why we never got another one of these games again in America. 4 days ago, a guy I told this to on YouTube said he could believe it sold poorly because he still finds brand new copies of the game in Europe game shops. There was a professional version of the game released in Japan that added more story and monsters, but I don't know too much about that version. That's just an interesting thing to make note of. I was able to find additional information on the Dragon Quest Monsters Joker 2 professional page, such as some of the monsters that they added to the game, including, but not limited to, Hexagoon, Cobra Cardinals, King Godwin, Gorham Hog, and Gorsby Purvis. Woodus also has a page dedicated to every monster that is exclusive to Joker 2 Professional Edition. There is also an additional final boss add to the game that is stronger than Malevolinx and Rigor Mortis. Just like Joker 1, Joker 2 Professional Edition also has an unused monster called the Platina King. What this monster looks like is still unknown. Zoma's Devil, a very rare and hard to get monster that first appeared in Dragon Quest Monsters 1 and 2 for the Sony PlayStation, also appeared in Dragon Quest Monsters Joker 2 Professional Edition. Its first appearance in over 9 years since it debuted. I'd give Joker 2 a 9 out of 10. Definitely worth picking up. The final Dragon Quest Monsters Joker game to be released is Dragon Quest Monsters Joker 3 and Joker 3 Professional. This game, much like Terry's Wonderland and Dragon Quest Monsters 2 3DS Iru and Lucas Magical Wonderful Magical Key, was not released in the USA. Your hero character suffers from amnesia, and you, with the help of monsters, must help him recover his memories. The Dragon Ball Z designs of the characters returns thanks to Akira Toriyama designing them. This happens to be the worst of them all though. The hero has Trunks' outfit mixed with Kid Trunks and Teen Gohan's face and Teen Super Saiyan 2 Gohan's hair. In this game, you can also ride every single monster to navigate the world, a huge mechanic which I enjoyed oddly enough. Once again, proving that Dragon Quest Monsters is better than Pokemon in every single way possible. The cool thing about the monster riding mechanic is that every monster type has a different special ability. Some allow you to fly higher and some allow you to jump and double jump in terrains. Graphics are nice and cel-shaded like Budokai Tenkaichi 3, The world is probably the largest I've ever experienced on a Dragon Quest Monsters game, and over 500 monsters on the professional version are included. Characters from the past 2 Joker games also make an appearance in the professional edition of Joker 3. As it turns out, the Incarnus has a brother who is trying to stop the Demon of Time from altering history. It turns out the hero of Joker 3 and Joker 2 and Joker 1 are all related. This is discovered when the Demon King tries to corrupt the heart of Joker 3's hero. His ancestors from the past stop the Demon King because their bloodline is immune to the Demon King's power. Woodist.com also has a promotional scan showing characters from Joker 3, Joker 2, and Joker 1. The game, while beautiful at times, also looks ugly at times. Something with the cell shading looks a little off to me. This game is supposed to tie up all the loose ends from Dragon Quest Monsters Joker 1, 2, and 3. Whether it does that in a satisfactory way or not is up to you. I personally don't think it does that great of a job, but that's just me. The cliches were too much for my judgmental heart to handle. With all the new features and huge amount of monsters added, I'll give this game a 3 out of 5.
3DS で最強のモンスターマスターを目指せ。ドラゴンクエストモンスターズジョーカー3 24日発売。
Dragon Quest Monsters Super Light was a mobile game for Android and iOS devices where you traveled the maps and dungeons using your monsters to battle for you. It was released in Japan in January of 2014. I also read that there was a Malaysian version that had an English option as well, but the game never was released in America. So if you want to play it in English, you have to find the Malaysian copy. Watabahu is back from Dragon Warrior Monsters to teach us the ropes on how to play the mobile game Super Light. The game has its own map, which is huge, with many islands to explore, with unique characters and monsters and dungeoneering experiences to be had. While researching another game a year ago, I came across this screenshot from a webpage detailing Dragon Quest Monsters Super Light. It shows Watabahus in the game, Warabahu, and the secret monster from Dragon Warrior Monsters 2 and Dragon Warrior Monsters 1+2, Cagebahu. Also, baby forms of Warabahu and Watabahu, and the hard-to-come-by monster from Dragon Quest Monsters 1+2 exclusively, Ibahu, which in my opinion is the hardest one to get in today's world because it required that you took an old iApp-compatible cell phone, download the Dragon Quest Monsters mobile app, got it somehow at a marketplace or by playing the game, and then connected that phone to your PlayStation 1 with Dragon Quest Monsters 1+2 on it and transferred Ibahu onto your PS1 games. The service shut down not too long after the games released in the early 2000s, so it was only available for a very short time. And based on this image, I assume they brought it back for this game. Makes sense. A cell phone only monster in the 2000s going on to a cell phone only game. After coming into the Super Light world, you make your home at a farm. From the farm, you can go anywhere in the world. While dungeoneering, you can come across items and even monster battles. Battling the monsters, much like on the Game Boy Color games, is one way that you can recruit them. As you complete more quests, you unlock more parts of the map with more monsters and new items to find. The more you play days in a row, the more bonus login items you receive. In the item shop, you can buy more parts of the map to explore. The higher the map rank, the stronger the monsters you have to fight. The animations look a bit choppy, which is something that newer games in this genre are trying to do, which is to make cel-shaded games look more cinematic by lowering the frame rate to 24 frames per second. Personally, I'm not a fan. It looks cheap and it looks ugly. The overworld graphics look okay, if not a little bit comic booky. Some people might like it, some people might not. For me, it took my eyes a little bit of adjusting to get used to, and over time, I was finally able to accept it. It is definitely my least favorite of all the Dragon Quest Monsters games. I can't get over the look, and I'm not a fan of the cell phone touchscreen controls. I would not recommend playing this game. But in case you are interested in playing the game, Woodus has a detailed monster list of every monster that appears in the game, as well as detailed lists of every map in the game. So if you need help with this game, go to woodus.com. Dragon Quest Monsters Wanted is a lost Japanese mobile game with a Wild West setting. This game is so unknown that I've only been able to find one video of anyone playing it. There were over 400 monsters featured in the game. Not gonna lie, at first I thought the concept of Dragon Quest monsters in the Wild Wild West was idiotic, until I saw how everything played out. From what I can tell, you're a bounty hunter that frequents a local saloon where you find new bounties to take down. You get one monster to aid you on your hunts. When a bounty is defeated, you get gold, monster XP, and player XP, and are then sent back to the saloon until another bounty comes in. The battling system this game is no longer your monster stats and skills versus a group of monster stats and skills. It's now which monster can outstamina another monster, which oddly enough looks like a concept that worked very well in the gameplay videos I've seen. Graphics are nice and crisp, closely resembling those seen in Caravan Heart, Dragon Quest VII, and even the 2006 mobile game. I'd say it would have been an entertaining game to pass the time. A great game? Maybe. The best game? Absolutely not. Since the game server shut down, and based on one review I found of the game, to my knowledge, the game is no longer playable. So unless you know how to recreate servers, don't even try playing the game even if you find the APK file. Dragon Quest Monsters Monster Parade was a browser and mobile app game which shares similar elements with Dragon Quest Monsters Caravan Heart, such as there being a weight limit on your wagon. It was released in 2013. You get quests from a king and form a caravan of different monsters you recruit along the way to aid you with the quests. The game runs at a higher frame rate, it appears, than Dragon Quest Monsters Super Light, which makes it easier on the eyes. While moving your caravan from location to location, you'll be blocked off by enemy monsters. You have to battle these monsters to progress your caravan closer to the destination point. Defeating enemies grants you gold to buy items with and XP for your caravan and monsters. When Shockwave stopped being supported in December of 2020, the servers for the games shut down in 2019, so the browser version is no longer playable. I assume that also means the mobile apps are no longer working as well. As the years pass, it seems more and more Dragon Quest Monsters games are being lost to time. In conclusion, the frame rate of the game being higher, the graphics and character models looking more polished, and everything being integrated in an easy-to-learn interface makes this game better, in my opinion, than Dragon Quest Monsters Super Light.